Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of A Contagious Smiles Unstoppable with Victoria Michael.
Hi.
Yeah, that was your cue.
Sorry.
This is very unscripted up here, y'all. So we just fly off the cuff and just pull it out of left air and
Left air?
left air.
Left
Because you
air.
go into left field a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, so we just pull it out of left air.
You need a little puppy love. Today,
Yeah.
we went to see who I've always thought for it seems like a decade now, a good friend named Will, who's amazing and such an amazing person. And ends up he's family. He's jumped over to the family category. And they have puppies. His sweet, sweet boy, Sam, he wanted a puppy to live on the legacy. And so Sam and Gracie, mom and dad, had puppies. And so we went up there and we were going to get their color coded. So we were getting purple because I want eventually to have the legacy of Stucco to continue because that's my baby boy. And we get there. Oh my goodness, these dogs. Okay, first of all, mom and dad are great, gorgeous, beautiful. Will and his wife Mindy are phenomenal, fantastic, amazing, and shout out because she's an amputee like me. And so we go and we pick up our purple, and we can't bring her home yet, but we're just getting a little up and time in. That is the sweetest little girl. She is just a love pot. So she's giving me all those little puppy kisses and hugs and smoochies, and she's falling asleep with me, and she's a cuddle bugs, and Faith fell in love with her, and it was over. And so we'd originally kind of sort of agreed that purple would be Michael's because I have stucco and Faith has rusty. And so we kind of agreed that purple would be Michael's, but that's not how this went. So instead, we're getting two new puppies. What? So we're having babies. We're gonna have two little puppies now. So I'm so excited. But then my husband realized, oh shit, now it went from, so we had four boys and two girls, and now we're gonna have four girls and three boys. So yeah, it's not going to work very well in your favor anymore, babe. But what sweet little faces. You'll have to go on our social media platforms and I'll put some pictures up of the pups and you'll get to see. So,
So a little background on our buddy Will there. He's very humble. He's an old fart like me.
he's not an old fart. He's a sweetheart.
Right, he is, but I wouldn't
I knew him
call
first.
him a sweetheart.
I knew him first.
I just call him an old fart. But Will is a master blacksmith. And when I say master blacksmith, his work has been featured worldwide.
All these Hollywood films with like Denzel. Oh,
He is famous for his knives, swords, and tomahawks.
they're gorgeous.
Okay, especially his tomahawks. He has been commissioned by the Atlanta Braves over many years to produce tomahawks. He has produced swords that have been featured in Pirates of the Caribbean, the Magnificent Seven. So those are just some of the highlights. And we went up there to his home, beautiful home,
In the mountain.
up in the mountains, and I got to see some of his showcase work, and it was
Beautiful.
phenomenal. I mean, there are swords and knives and cleavers everywhere, blanks, already completed orders, and then
All these puppies.
and yeah, then then we have all these puppies running around.
Oh,
He had, how many puppies were there? About 10, 13?
10, no, 10.
Yeah.
And then mom and pop and those two, Gracie and Sam, are just such great parents. Like they just kept checking on the babies and wanted to go in there. What sweet babies. I mean, just I was like, can I just, I know it's a little early. Can we just put one in my bag and I'll just, you know. So we have a couple more weeks to wait. And of course, Faith's like, no, I want to wait. I want her now. And it was so sweet because just to see the happiness. I mean, golden retrievers, now Stucco and Rusty are red, like Faith and I red. And these two are pure white. And those are the rarities in a golden retriever breed, right? It's one extreme to the other, and like the extremes are white and red. And so we have candy cane golden
Really?
retrievers, which are my favorite roses, the red and white. So see, it's all a beautiful thing. And my husband, who wants to call her
Samba?
Samba Rose, everybody was like, no, nope, no, no, no. So when we went and had dinner and we showed the waiter the puppy, and I was like, he's like, what do you want to name her? And my husband says Samba Rose. He goes, no, no. So then today, Will and Mindy were like, no. And so I was like, yes. So he's gonna name his, he's getting the blue one. And it's so funny because our favorite color is purple and his favorite color is this blue. And those are the actual colors of the puppies we're getting. So it's kind of like meant to be. And these two, like, literally snuggle each other all the time. Like, you have 10 of them in this gorgeous whelping box, and they both come out at the same time and they both stick their little head out. And I got a picture of the two of them together,
You got
which
the
I'll post it everywhere. Yes, so stinking cute. And I put our purple one down so she can get some water. And the minute I did, she just looked up at me and I'm like, done. Come on, come back. Let's go. You can come right back up here. So we come home and Stucco and Rusty are like, what the hell, dude? Like, they're smelling us, they're smelling me, looking at me like, mom, what is this? No. This is absolutely no. Mm-mm. What is this? But I had taken a box of toys for all the puppies because we didn't want to leave one because the rest of them would want it. And they were all playing with the same ones when we left that they got when we got in there, which was super cute. So puppy love. Happy puppy. Happy,
Yep.
happy. Yeah.
And I was able to gift Will with a bracelet, a cuff bracelet that I made over the weekend.
I'm a little jealous of this because you have made a bracelet that you're showcasing on your own wrist, one for our daughter, a ring for our daughter, and a bracelet for Will, and I have none of the above. I don't have the ring and I don't have the bracelet.
I'll get right on it, dear.
Yeah, I know what that means.
What?
Dunkin' Donuts?
I'll do it tomorrow?
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. So let's put all this to the side. So on the drive back, we're talking about things, and there's a woman that is now up for parole. And I don't have the article in front of me, but we were reading it on the way back. And this woman was sentenced to prison time for killing her abuser, domestic violence abuser. And this woman, bless her heart, had been sentenced, it was like 15 years or something of that nature. And she kept going to the police and going and asking for help. She got all the paperwork that gives you paper cuts and stuff. She got the TRO. She got the restraining order, which does nothing but pisses off your aggressor. And she did everything. And the aggressor openly admitted he was going to kill her. He would kill her if she left. He would kill her if she tried to leave. He was going to kill her and their kids. And so she didn't want her children to die at his hands. And he attacked her, and in complete self-defense, and there were wounds on her person at the time of this arrest, he beat her. But apparently, the court found her at fault for defending herself at a higher level and convicted her of murder. And so she's self-defending herself and her children, and she goes to jail for murder. And when she got out, she said, there is nothing out there that protects us. So are we supposed to let them kill us? Because the system sure doesn't protect us. Who's supposed to protect our kids?
Okay, so let me throw in my 2 cents.
Okay.
Okay. Now, y'all know we advocate for the survivors, past victims, or could be current victims, but they're still survivors of domestic violence.
They're freaking
Okay?
warriors.
Right.
We are
We
warriors.
advocate for them. Okay. We do not condone whooping a woman, beating a child. We do not condone any of that abuse. Okay. Now, both her and I, my wife and I, we were law enforcement. We know that there's always two sides of a coin. Now,
I can debate this to you all day.
my wife has heard one side, and that was from whatever news you pulled it from. Okay.
Okay, so let's
Now,
debate this. I would love a debate with you.
I'm not against her.
She had marks on her person from the assault.
Sure she did.
I'd love to debate with you.
Okay.
I don't give a rat's ass if he hit her one time, children are present or whatever. Okay, let's take him, for instance, if I got hit, right? Let's take into, okay, I'm an amputee. I have, my entire face is metal. I have 26 pieces of metal in my face.
Right.
I have a shoulder replacement. I mean, we can go down the list. I'm deaf in one ear and 88% deaf in the other. All of this is medically documented and proven, right?
Sure.
If I am labeled as disabled, I am labeled as crippled, right? Even though I hate those terms. So if I got hit and I have secondary concussion syndrome and say I got hit in the head and I go down and I get up to defend myself and he happens to get a roundhouse to the back of the head, or he ends up falling and hitting his head on concrete along the way, or whatever, and it's self-defense and I'm defending myself to stop the threat to protect me and my children, and I have bruises and marks on my person, what the hell is wrong with self-defense?
All right. So those are facts that you hypothetically put out there, right? Right?
I'm giving you airtime for this because I can't wait to hear this.
What were the facts surrounding her?
She was beaten and defended herself.
She was
beaten, and had a plethora of past documentation. All the way to police reports, to medical records.
Okay, but that's beside the point right now, right?
But it shows consistency.
It does, but it's beside the point.
It also goes to show his lack of character, but they say character.
In the moment, she is being beaten.
Correct.
In the moment, she decided to defend herself.
And or her children at the same time. They could have been right there.
In fear of her life, she's defending herself.
Okay.
Is that the fact?
That is the fact.
So that's what happened.
And so some judge who happened...
So somehow, wait. In the moment, she defended herself and he died.
Yep.
How?
It doesn't say. It just says he died from the attack, which was defense.
Okay, so we didn't know how he died. Did he die right then?
We don't know.
During the attack, during the defense?
I don't know.
Okay, we didn't know that. See, that's why I'm not taking her side, because we don't know these facts.
Okay.
I have to look at the story.
But here's one. You know, it depends on who you are. And I agree. I'll have a lot of people that'll say famous people get away with defense.
Oh, yeah.
And that's true and it's not true. Because, like, yes, that is true. Like, we learned today that James Brown, the famous singer, right, beat the dog crap out of one of his backup singers to the point that her sister found her in the closet. And then, you know, she's all bloody and everything. And then he beat her again in Motown Records office. And she passed out in Marvin Gaye's arms. Like, she collapsed in Marvin Gaye's arms. And then she had head trauma and she died couple days or whatever before her 25th birthday. But nothing was done to James Brown, right? So many people who are celebrities get away with stuff because of who they are. So many people get away with stuff because they're somewhere in the system or they know somebody in the system, which goes to the book Shielded that I just finished, which hopefully will be out in the next couple of weeks. Has to do with how the corrupt system is. And everywhere I go, like we watched Miranda Law, the true story, right? We watched that came out in 2023. And it's all about how you slept through most. And the thing is that it clearly states that out of 1,000 sexual assaults, only 5 assailants are convicted, right? That number is a fact all day long. And it is not okay. Then you have a 1 in 4 in a civilian sector, 1 in 3 in military, and 1 in 3 in law enforcement. Mm-hmm. Okay. And here's the thing. And I say this all the time, and I don't mean to sound like a record. I don't want to say broken record. I hate that term. But like, if you have a mom, daughter, sister, and aunt, or best friend, or grandmother, 1 in 4 at some point in their life is going to go through some kind of abuse. Okay. And if you, like, my abuser was military. And so if you have 1 in 3 that report it, how many don't? How many are afraid to go through? Now, let's go back for a second and go back to the point where I was beaten on the installation in front of his captain, and the captain didn't do squadoosh, right? So, how many other, and again, I'll say this every time we go on podcast, we totally support military and law enforcement, but every orchard has bad orchid. Yes, has
Orchard.
bad apples. Everyone,
I recently bought her orchids.
everyone, but that doesn't mean they're all bad. And so we heavily support law enforcement and military. We absolutely do. But the ones that are corrupt, we don't. And that's what I'm saying. If another soldier beat his wife in front of a captain, they're not going to report it because nothing's getting done to them, right? They're not getting a USM, Article 15. They're not getting or whatever, a reprimand or whatever. They're not, nothing. Like nothing happens. And, I knew about the transitional compensation group and all of that happened because I was given the information from the advocates there. And the transitional compensation plan was developed for military survivors of abuse. How would I know about this if I wasn't given the information? And I had the card from the lady with her personal cell phone number on it in her handwriting with her name. And I had all the documentation. But did they give it to us? No. We didn't get a doggone red dime. We didn't get money for moving. We didn't get insurance. We got nothing. Nothing. And so I understand, and this is what this woman stated. She goes, I understand why nobody wants to come forward, why nobody wants to stand up and say I'm being abused. And everybody is so quick to say, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Where do we go? And then the courts get involved. Well, he might be a bad husband, but he could be a good dad. So we're going to make you turn over your child to this monster for a weekend. And you're not going to be there to protect his or her, the baby, girl or boy. You're not going to be able to do it. And as a mom, that was my biggest nightmare. Never going to happen. Right? How can you, and the courts don't understand, if you're beating your wife, it's a matter of time before you beat the child. It's a matter of time. And to the courts just say, hey, he's not hurting the child, so we're not going to restrict the child from seeing their parent. Well, okay, so what happens when the child does get hit? And just because, and let me say this very clearly, just because at the time the child doesn't actually physically get the assault themselves, they see it, they hear it, they feel it. They feed off of mom, especially that primitive young age. They see it, feel it, experience it. When they see or hear dad yelling at mom or mom yelling at dad, they're in the corner crying, holding their stuffed animal, hands over their ears, maybe wetting their pants. They're having an adverse reaction to what's happening in their environment, and they're scared. And their home is supposed to be their safe place, right? That's the one place they're supposed to feel safe and secured. And they're not, because what is going to happen tonight? What if I don't finish my green beans, or I can't fall asleep right away, or I hear a noise, or, and the monsters they start thinking they hear is really the yelling they hear in a different room. And they're just trying to psychologically filter it in a different way because they don't want to think that's their dad. But then they get to the point where they don't have a dad because they have animosity towards dad. Why are you yelling at my mom? Right? Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming at me when I try to protect my mom? I'm trying to do the right thing. You're teaching me it's okay. Now, how is it okay? For instance, the abuser can quote unquote have a bad day, right? Come home, have a bad day. Leave me alone. I had a bad day at work. I'm opening a beer, having a drink, whatever. And this is what they do. Why aren't kids allowed to have a bad day? Instead they get spanked, sent to their room, they get punished, they get yelled at. Kids can have a bad day too. But why are you taking out your aggression on the child? That's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. And so many people say, oh, they're all better. They serve their time. They're reformed. All, hogwash, hogwash. Don't tell me, because it's like a cycle. It's like a cycling effect. abusers go through a cycling event. They have the courtship, and then they go through the whole thing, and it's literally when you go through this, these poor kids, everything affects them. Their grades start taking a tumble. They end up withdrawing. They become an introvert. They don't want to be home. They don't want to be at school because they're getting picked on about, why they're not eating, or maybe everything's going on at home and they're not getting, help with their clothes, and they're stinking when they go to school, and they're putting on the same clothes, and they're getting made fun of, and now they're getting bullied, and they're getting this everywhere, right? So if you're having a bad day, take a freaking walk. Take a walk. Go outside, shut the door, leave everyone at one point in time that you loved in the room or in the house, leave them alone, and cool the hell off. Because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You are not a man. You are a flippin' coward if you're going to raise your hand to a child, a woman, another man, an animal. You're just a piece of shit. My husband's looking at me like.
So I want to back up and say that I agree with my wife that the the survivors are not represented like they should. Okay, this woman that we were discussing got sentenced to prison for killing her abuser. Okay, yes, we don't know all the facts yet. We'll dig into that. We'll look into it. But how many times have we heard this same scenario? The survivor, the one that was being abused, went to jail, and the abuser
keeps the kids,
stays home with the kids, drinks beer, hangs out with the officers on
sexually
duty.
Assaults the kids.
Right. How many times have you heard that or read it? It's popped up on the news.
I can tell you personally how I would get. I'm sorry, because he gets so upset when I talk about this. I would literally get the crap beat out of me where I didn't even look like me, and his knuckles would be all busted and red and swollen and whatever. And when somebody would ask him what happened, I'm clumsy. That was like the number one thing. I'm clumsy, clumsy. And it was, well, why didn't you just do what he wanted? Or why didn't you just give him what he wanted? And well, look what you did to his knuckles. Mine aren't busted up. Mine aren't messed up. So you're in here looking at my face, seeing that my face is all messed up, seeing that his knuckles are messed up, and you're getting on my butt about this situation as if I did all of it, and then put me on a guilt trip because he messed up his hands. No.
So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there because I love my wife dearly, and I will not let another man touch my wife. And if I ever meet that abuser
again, you've met him before a few times.
I met him once.
No, you met him a few times.
A few times, but I remember once, and that was in court.
You met him early on too, and then you met him one other time.
So, y'all want to know about that abuse that happened? Hop on over to victoriacure.com and pick up her book, Who Kicked First.
So let's talk about books for a second.
You've only written and published 48?
I don't know. So Shielded is coming out, and I'm very excited about that. But my husband decided to laugh at me because he said to me, "What have you been doing?" He was sleeping, go figure. And I was like, "Come here, I want you to see. Come here, I want you to see." I started a book series for kids between the ages of 4 and 8. And it's called the Stucco Squad series. And it is so bleeping cute.
Stucco's our service dog.
My service dog. Our mascot. Our mascot. And the sweetest, this book is so stinking cute. And what it does is it has, for instance, all sorts of different things. And it's going to be a series. And I've already, he's going to say, of course you have. I just finished book 2 about 5 minutes ago.
Of course you, we just got home.
And
we've been out all day. How in the world? You know what? You're amazing. I swear.
So we did this. And then,
No, you did this.
oh, you haven't given the big announcement on the top thing yet, but hold on. So the thing is it's very exciting. So, like, it has a scenario in the book. For instance, you hear your mom and dad arguing and they're yelling at each other and it makes your tummy upset. So, what do you do? A, B, C, or D? And it gives you four choices. Now, you get to color in all the pages, which makes it super fun. And there's a certificate at the end. And it is so much fun to do. And it really, and it in the end says, I choose brave because you are choosing to be brave. And it teaches you all about bravery. And so I'm going to do a series for ages 2 to 3, and then going to do the 4 to 8, and then like 9 to 12, and then 13. And each series will have 8 books in it. And then we'll go and look at maybe another series for each age group. But it's super exciting. I am so excited to be doing this. And it's kind of off the cuff because it's not really what I do, but I love doing this knowing that we're helping kids. It is so amazing to know that we're doing this at their level, at their understanding and their comprehension so that they can really get in there and just learn. And it also discusses feelings and things at their level that maybe they don't want to talk about, or things they're experiencing or seeing or afraid of. And it lets the book talk to the mom and dad without the kids having to give out that information. And it's so adorable and cute. And I can't wait for that to come out.
You know what? Maybe along with the stucco squad, I can make specially made, handcrafted bracelets for
The Stucco
the
Squad.
stucco squad.
That's awesome.
How about that?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try that. We'll take a look at that.
So go ahead.
I just want to give another shout out to our good buddy Will, and his tomahawk was so impressive that I want to learn how to forge tomahawks now. I mean, it was just, and these things, it was beautiful.
Oh my God, it was
One
stunning.
his his what he called his staple,
Yeah,
the one that he always makes, and it was beautiful.
absolutely.
So yeah, it was great going up there, finally seeing him. Um,
And March, we're on the cover of Podcast International magazine. And then we got some really amazing news yesterday.
I don't know this title. You have to spit it out.
I'm not going to do that because I'm too humble. I don't do
It's
that.
My wife got awarded top 30.
Okay, that's been changed.
Okay.
So when we got home and I checked the other email, I got a notice. They're putting the final touches of it together. It's done out of New York. I've now been made into the top 20 most influential leadership women of 2026.
Sweet.
So originally, I was told yesterday I was in the top 30. I got today that after reviewing more about you and having you answer our questions and speaking with you, she was amazing. Sandra was fantastic. And I talked with her quite a bit yesterday. She was like, I went in there and said, nope, somebody's getting booted to another number because Victoria's going up. And I was like, no, 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 no. And she's like, no, no. But she didn't tell me where.
Hmm.
But I got an email today that says, you're in the top 20. So that's so honoring. And I told her, I was like, I'm not this person that wears that, like, hey, And I said, it's because of people I get to help that have put us where we are. And that's why we do what we do. And so that's incredibly honoring.
Right. It's very rare for my wife to even put doctor in front of her name. She's done it in some of her books, I believe.
No, no, no. I have only
Somewhere. Maybe
I
some articles.
articles, a few.
Okay.
I think the one that shocked y'all the most was when we were with Faith and she got one of the doctors and nurses got super stupid for a second and tried to talk down to us like we didn't know what we were talking about. And I schooled them. And I think that's the very first time I dropped the I'm a doctor title.
Right.
And you and Faith were like, huh? What? I've never in my life heard her call herself that. Like,
Right.
never, ever, ever, ever. And that was, yeah, I don't think I've ever done that but once.
It's because you hear my wife talk one time in the medical field, you know she has the knowledge of a doctor, and that's due to her past and our
Base.
daughter's past. But I was always told if you have to tell someone you're the boss, you ain't the boss.
Is that why you try to tell me you're the boss all the time?
Oh yeah, I'm the boss in this relationship. I'm the boss.
You are out to
I'm
lunch.
the. You want to ask Faith?
Go ahead.
No, let's not. Let's keep her in the room.
Yeah, I'd like to hear her say, "Yeah, Dad's the boss." Yeah, she'd say, "Dad's the bitch." She wouldn't say, "Dad's the boss."
Keep it PG.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. So we have. I just want to say for a minute, and this is hard for me to say this from the inception of 2006 when I started A Contagious Smile. This has all been funded out of well, back then out of my own wallet, and it's been a lot. And then as this continued and got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I started writing and things like that. And when Michael got his head out of his ass and we ended up back together finally,
Thanks.
you're welcome. And then we started podcasting and we made it to top global percent and we got into the millions of followers. And then it wasn't just that. And then we built this academy, and the academy is free or very low cost. And when I say low cost, it's under $5. There are some courses that teach you how to get your numbers like where we have. And I've gone through that and put those courses together. I've created over 150 courses at this point, and they're all trauma lived. And there's the difference. We were actually awarded International Best Trauma Supportive Academy globally of 2025. Yeah, by Evergreen. And then we got Best of the Best by Insider Weekly for Trauma Support Academy as well. And so, and the thing is, it's because of everybody who we get to talk with.
And writes in and yep.
But we have been doing this out of our own pockets from inception. And for all of you guys who know, my husband was taking care of his dad while he was working full time in the company, who says they're family oriented and is full of shit, released my husband, even though FMLA is in play, and let him go. And so we have really been struggling financially, and we want to keep this going. So if you go onto acontagiousmile.com, there's a buy me a coffee there, and you can pay $5, which is less than a Starbucks. Because if anybody comes to us, and I bet you I've got over 1,000 different courses that I've comped. If somebody comes to me and says, I just can't afford it, I just give them access. And we have so many people that join, and I give them the option when you join if you want to be seen or you want to be invisible. And so you have that choice, because your confidentiality and your confidence and your understanding that is my number one priority is my number one priority. So if you join the academy, you can choose to be seen or not seen. And then people in there won't know you're there if you choose to stay invisible. And so I've had people come in and say, I just can't afford a $5 course. And I don't ask twice. Okay, here, let me take care of it for you. And we are paying for all of it. I've created all the courses. It is incredibly costly when we are paying for everything and all the platforms that we do day in and day out. And my husband and I have never taken a paycheck from any of this. And we also, the proceeds from the books go right back into this so that we can keep paying for it. And we've never, not once, right, babe? Never taken a paycheck.
You're right, babe.
And it's now, especially with him not working, it's getting tough. And we never, ever want anyone to go through what I went through by having to go through this by themselves. So we are asking if you can go to acontagiousmile.com. I'm going to get it up on my site, victoriacure.com. If it's a buy me a coffee, you could do $5, you could do 10, you could do whatever you can that you're comfortable with. And then you could do monthly, you could do anything like that. And it will help tremendously, because here's the question. I want you to turn and look at your daughter or look at your son, and what is their safety and security worth to you? Because if God forbid one day they need something, the Stucco Squad is full up and running in the academy, and they get to do all sorts of fun courses. Like Stucco teaches them how to do math. Stucco teaches them adding and subtracting, and it's not boring. Like, go in there and Stucco's in a classroom, and he's so cute, and he's like, "Where are my cookies? Where did my cookies go?" and you have to help Stucco find his missing cookies. And it teaches you he started out with 5 and now he's got 3. So how many are missing? And it's so sweet. And we have a whole collection for people that are vets, and those are all free. And then we have caregiver section, and we have a section for people who've been through any type of abuse, whether it's physical or sexual or narcissistic abuse. It's all in there. And there are so many courses throughout all of the collections that will work for so many people. Like there's not just one collection people could sit with. They could go through multiple collections and find many courses that would work for them. And so all of these take a lot of time to create. They're not done quickly or half-assed. And if you do it and enjoy it, tell somebody about it. And if you could say, hey, you know what? I have an extra $5. Let me put this in here because maybe one day it will help somebody. We have a whole collection for special needs families and kiddos. And to go on there and see the smiles on their faces while they play and do these games, it's so worth it. It really is. And there's so many courses for you as a parent, as a woman, as a caregiver, just so you could be in there and feel validated and heard and really respected. Those are in there. And so we try to make sure we've got something for everybody. And we normally don't go and put our hand out and say, hey, we need some help, but we don't want to stop doing what we're doing either.
Oh my gosh, to get the emails that you have in the past that say, Victoria, I read your book and it saved my life. Just that one out of, the many years that we've been doing it, just that one alone would be totally worth it.
Well, I've gotten many like that,
Yeah,
but
yes,
I mean, yeah.
But I'm saying just the one. Yeah.
Right.
So, we don't do this for the money, y'all, but
we can't because we don't get any.
yeah. So y'all get in there and get you a cup of coffee and pick up a book while you're at it. You need to read these books. This is real life events. This is a real war that's happening here on the home front. And it may be your neighbor. It may be your sister. It
your
may
daughter.
be your daughter. Okay?
Your best friend. And
Yeah.
there's courses in the academy also that teach you like the right way to help them and be there for them and comfort them and give them support. Because if you've never been through it, A, God bless you, and B, a lot of people don't know what to say. Don't go in there, like, haha, better you than me. No, don't do that. And we're here to help every step of the way with all of that. I'll help you redo your resume. I'll help you. And my husband's like, everywhere we go, you're offering to help somebody with something. I mean, here I am, literally the last surgery I had my phone in my hand. They're pre-oping me. They're like, we got to put your IV in. And I'm like, hold on a minute. And I'm on the phone. And I'm literally like, okay, hold on. And I'm like, I'm literally got the team here ready to wheel me back to the OR. My husband's like, are you serious right now? And I said, I will, just a minute. Hold on. They can't start without me. And he's shaking his head. But that's what you do. That's because you need someone is going to be there for you and help you and support you. And that's what we try to do.
Yepper. So y'all get her done. Get on them websites, victoriacure.com and contagiousmile.com.
And what is our academy website?
I can never remember that one.
Contagiousmile.m as in Mary, N as in Nancy, .co. And what is my website? He always spells my last name wrong.
Oh, I just told him. victoriacure.com. Cure is spelled Cuore.
So many people pronounce it wrong. And it's kind of like puree, but with a C. And so many people it's so cute to hear them, especially like little kids when they try to say it. So, but I just tell everybody I'm Captain Hook's sister. And they think that's so cool.
And if you got a story you want to share with us, reach out, contact us on our primary website. And yeah, we have shared many stories. My wife has written a book with a compilation of y'all's stories.
I'm going to work on getting another one out.
It was phenomenal.
So sweet.
I cried, guys. I couldn't.
He's the pollinator.
I read several stories on air, and I just, man, it broke my heart. To hear the stories of abuse as seen through the eyes of a child.
That was tough.
and you feel what they're feeling. You think what they're thinking as they're seeing this, and you just hear the scared little boy, the scared little girl in there, and there's nothing they could do. It's they can't physically overpower the abuser, or they can't. They're helpless to stop it.
And now that you said that, think about that when their mom goes to prison for self-defense and the dad gets the kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I say this is probably one of my biggest taglines. You should not have to spend your adulthood recovering from your childhood. That's like one of my most quoted lines I say.
And I don't know if y'all know, both my wife and I were law enforcement. I did just over 13 and a half years. But a similarity, and I'm not, and like I said, we're four police officers and military. Okay. But you got some lazy cops out there, y'all. I can attest that because, at times I was one. Okay. If I'm having a bad day, okay, this is a job for me. If I'm having a bad day, I don't want to do what'd you say?
Squadoosh.
Yes. I think that come off Kung Fu Panda or that skadoosh.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'll go sit and park somewhere and wait for the 911 calls to come in. I'll go park up under a building
And go.
Right. I'll take a nap. I'll hang out when it's raining.
He has a J2 come.
I won't get it. You just gave away my location.
Why? Because I said J2. I didn't give away a location. I just said you were.
Anyway.
A J2 is a side piece.
I'm not saying that all cops are like this, but some cops are lazy. So when you get to a domestic violence call,
that's the most dangerous to go on.
And the officer sees, hey, there's defensive wounds on the man. Okay, let's throw the man out there. It's predominantly men, abusers, and there's all kind of whooping marks on the female, blood, fingerprints around the neck, thumbprints on the arm, a black eye, a busted lip. His knuckles are like you said, scraped and broken open in the skin.
Yep.
Sometimes that officer is to say, well, given the totality of the circumstance, I'm going to call this an affray. An affray is a fight between two people and there is no victim.
Right.
Right? Both of them are suspects. Both of them are guilty. They both go to jail. Okay? Now, the officer could say that. Or he could say, I just can't make a determination who's at fault here. He said, she said, there's no witnesses. Okay?
So what am I supposed to do? Just lay there?
I'm gonna tell this lady, this is what I think you should do. Guy, you go have a beer at a bar, take a walk, hang out with your boys or something. Ma'am, you pack your bags, go to your sister's house for the evening. Y'all need to separate for the night and simmer down.
Okay, but then what are we supposed to do? Not defend ourselves? Just lay there and let our kids see that, we're helpless?
Some officers can be like that. Okay, I'm not saying, now, again, we are for the police,
But we're also for them doing the right thing.
Right. Do the right thing. But I can attest, I got lazy because sometimes it was just a job. It wasn't a calling.
Right before into shift.
Right. Oh, yes. I'm not going to sit on a 3-hour domestic call right at the end of my shift.
What about it was almost a year now. I was called as the guardian for the kids and the advocate. I was out there 6 hours on a standoff.
That was crazy.
And there was a ton of kids involved. And it was the woman that was the aggressor. And
after careful investigation.
Right. There was crisis control, law enforcement. I mean, everybody was there. And I was out there for 6 hours.
DFACs?
Yes. And it was 6 hours long. It was like 1 a.m. by the time. And even the officers were like, I don't even know how to start this report. I don't know any of that. What is it, babe?
Good.
And so literally it was just, you can't base that because this is someone's life. This is someone's whole life and their kids. And we should raise our kids to know that there are police officers out there that you can trust and go to when you're worried about something. You should raise the children where that if they see a law enforcement officer, they should feel safe. But when, daddy wears a badge and daddy comes home and is aggressive on mom, they don't feel like the law enforcement officer is safe. And that's what makes this so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to throw that out there. Well, that was a good little bit we talked about.
Yeah.
So would you like to take us out? And y'all know we're now dropping 2 podcasts a week. We're doing a 90-day experimentation, and we hope it gets out there to the right people.
What are you going to go do when we're done?
I have some bracelets to make.
You're not taking 10?
No, I took 10 on the way home.
That's true, because I drove for the first hour and I went 1 mile. He opened his eyes and he was like, have I been asleep? And I was like, for 55 minutes. And he was like, what? And he goes, it kind of looks the same. I was like, we've been a mile. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
It was worth it.
So worth it. Do it again. Absolutely. 100%.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to Unstoppable with Victoria and Michael here at the Candidly Smile. Be sure to jump on those websites, pick up the book, and buy a cup of coffee.
Good night.